Football situation in the Euro area. Football is undoubtedly one of the most popular sports in the world, and Europe is no exception. The Euro area, which consists of 19 European Union (EU) member states that have adopted the euro as their official currency, is home to some of the world's most successful and celebrated football teams. The UEFA European Championship, commonly referred to as the Euro, is the main football competition in the Euro area. It takes place every 4 years and brings together the best national teams from across Europe. The most recent edition of the Euro was held in 2021, and it was a tournament like no other, with the COVID-19 pandemic disrupting the plans of teams and fans alike. Despite the challenges posed by the pandemic, the 2021 Euro was a success, and it showcased the best of European football. The tournament was originally scheduled to take place in 12 cities across 12 countries, but due to the pandemic, the number of host cities was reduced to 11 and some matches were played without fans in attendance. Nevertheless, the tournament produced some memorable moments, and Italy emerged as the deserving champions, defeating England in a tense penalty shootout in the final. The Euro is not the only major football competition in the Euro area, however. The UEFA Champions League is another prestigious tournament that features the best club teams from across Europe. The Champions League is widely regarded as the most prestigious club competition in the world, and it is a platform for some of the world's best players to showcase their skills. The tournament takes place over several months, with the final typically being held in May. In recent years, the Champions League has been dominated by Spanish giants Real Madrid and Barcelona, as well as German powerhouses Bayern Munich. However, other teams from across Europe have also enjoyed success in the competition. In 2019, Liverpool FC, a team from England, won the Champions League for the 6th time in their history, defeating Tottenham Hotspur in the final. In addition to the Euro and the Champions League, each country in the Euro area has its own domestic football league. These leagues are the bread and butter of European football, and they are where local talent is nurtured and developed. Some of the most popular and successful domestic leagues in the Euro area include the English Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, the Italian Serie A, and the German Bundesliga. The English Premier League is widely regarded as one of the most competitive and exciting leagues in the world. It features some of the richest and most successful clubs in Europe, including Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. The league has a global following, with fans tuning in from around the world to watch their favorite teams compete. Similarly, the Spanish La Liga is home to some of the most successful and celebrated football teams in the world. Teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona have a rich history and a loyal following, and they have won numerous domestic and international titles over the years. The league also features other strong teams like Atletico Madrid and Sevilla, making it one of the most competitive leagues in Europe. The Italian Serie A is another popular league in the Euro area, and it is home to some of the world's most stylish and technically gifted players. Teams like Juventus, AC Milan, and Inter Milan have a strong following both in Italy and around the world, and they have produced some of the most memorable moments in European football history. The German Bundesliga is also a league to watch, with teams like Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund dominating in recent years. The league is known for its fast-paced and high-scoring games, and it is home to some of the most passionate and vocal fans in Europe. One of the unique aspects of European football is the fierce rivalries between teams and fans. Matches between bitter rivals can often be heated. These rivalries can sometimes lead to violence, both on and off the pitch. Football hooliganism has been a problem in Europe for many years, and many measures have been put in place to combat it. Most clubs have strict policies on fan behavior, and there are often heavy police presences at matches to prevent any incidents from occurring. In recent years, there has been a growing awareness of the need for diversity and inclusion in European football. Racism and discrimination have been a problem in the sport for many years, and there have been high-profile incidents of players being subjected to abuse from fans. Football authorities and clubs are taking steps to address this issue, with anti-racism campaigns and initiatives aimed at promoting inclusion and tolerance. Another issue facing European football is the growing divide between the rich and poor clubs. The wealthiest clubs, such as Real Madrid and Manchester United, have huge resources and can afford to pay top wages to players and invest in state-of-the-art facilities. Smaller clubs, however, struggle to compete and often have to rely on selling their best players to larger clubs to stay afloat. Despite these challenges, European football remains one of the most exciting and dynamic sports in the world. With its passionate fans, talented players, and historic clubs, it continues to captivate audiences around the globe. And with major tournaments like the Euro and the Champions League taking place regularly, there is always something to look forward to for football fans in the Euro area and beyond. In recent years, technology has also had a significant impact on European football. Video assistant referees, VAR, have been introduced in many leagues and competitions, and they have been instrumental in reducing errors and improving the accuracy of decisions. The use of goal line technology has also been a game changer, ensuring that correct decisions are made in situations where the ball crosses the line or not. Social media has also changed the way fans interact with the sport, with many clubs and players having a significant presence on platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Fans can now follow their favorite teams and players, interact with them directly, and keep up to date with the latest news and events in real time. The COVID-19 pandemic has also had a significant impact on European football. The 2020-21 season was heavily disrupted, with matches being postponed or cancelled, and games being played behind closed doors. Many clubs struggled financially, and there were concerns that some may not survive the crisis. However, with the rollout of vaccines, the situation is improving, and it is hoped that the 2021-22 season will see a return to some form of normality. Looking to the future, there are many exciting developments in the pipeline for European football. The introduction of a European Super League was proposed in April 2021, with some of the wealthiest clubs in Europe coming together to form a new competition. The proposal was met with widespread criticism from fans, players, and football authorities, however, and it was eventually abandoned. There are also plans to expand the Champions League, with the number of teams participating set to increase from 32 to 36. The tournament format will also be changed, with a new system of league stages replacing the current group stage. These changes are set to come into effect from the 2024-25 season and are expected to generate even more interest and excitement in the competition. In conclusion, European football is a dynamic and ever-evolving sport, with a rich history and passionate fans. Football situation in the Americas region. Football, or soccer as it is known in some parts of the Americas, is one of the most popular sports in the region. From the streets of Rio de Janeiro to the stadiums of Buenos Aires, football is deeply ingrained in the culture of the Americas. In this passage, we will explore the state of football in the Americas region, including its history, current state, and future prospects. History of football in the Americas. The origins of football in the Americas can be traced back to the late 19th century, when British expatriates introduced the sport to the region. The first recorded football match in the Americas took place in Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1867, and from there, the sport spread rapidly throughout the continent. By the early 20th century, football had become the most popular sport in the region, with national leagues established in Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, and Chile. The early years of football in the Americas were marked by intense rivalries between clubs and nations. One of the most famous of these rivalries is the Superclásico between Boca Juniors and River Plate in Argentina, which has been dubbed one of the greatest football derbies in the world. Another famous rivalry is the Clásico between Barcelona and Real Madrid in Spain, which has roots in the intense political and cultural divisions between Catalonia and the rest of Spain. As football continued to grow in popularity in the Americas, it also began to play an increasingly important role in national and international politics. The most famous example of this is the 1970 World Cup in Mexico, which was used by the Mexican government as a tool of national propaganda. The tournament was marked by a number of controversial incidents, including the arrest of Chilean player Carlos Caselli for criticizing the military regime of Augusto Pinochet. Current state of football in the Americas. Today, football remains one of the most popular sports in the Americas, with millions of fans tuning in to watch matches on TV and online. The sport is also a major driver of economic activity in the region, with clubs generating millions of dollars in revenue each year from ticket sales, merchandise, and sponsorships. At the international level, the Americas region has produced some of the most successful football teams in history. Brazil is the most successful team in World Cup history, having won the tournament a record 5 times. Argentina, Uruguay, and Mexico are also perennial contenders, with each country having advanced to the knockout rounds of the tournament on multiple occasions. At the club level, the Americas region is home to some of the most famous and successful clubs in the world. Brazilian club Flamengo, for example, has won the Copa Libertadores, the premier club competition in South America, twice in the past 5 years. Argentinian giants Boca Juniors and River Plate have also enjoyed success on the international stage, winning a combined 9 Copa Libertadores titles. Despite its popularity, football in the Americas faces a number of challenges. One of the most pressing of these is the issue of violence both on and off the field. In many countries, football matches are marred by incidents of hooliganism, with fans engaging in violent clashes with rival supporters and even attacking players and officials. In some cases, these incidents have led to deaths and injuries, and have tarnished the image of the sport in the eyes of many. Another challenge facing football in the Americas is the issue of corruption. In recent years, a number of high-profile cases of corruption have been uncovered, including the infamous FIFA-Gate scandal in which several high-ranking officials were indicted on charges of bribery and fraud. These scandals have eroded public trust in the sport and highlighted the need for greater transparency and accountability in football governance. Future prospects of football in the Americas. Despite the challenges facing football in the Americas, the sport is poised for continued growth and success in the coming years. One factor driving this growth is the increasing globalization of the sport, which has led to greater international exposure and a larger fan base in the Americas and beyond. Another factor is the increasing professionalism of the sport in the region. Over the past few decades, football clubs in the Americas have become more business-oriented, with a greater focus on marketing, branding, and revenue generation. This trend has helped to make the sport more financially sustainable and has attracted a new generation of fans who appreciate the sport's commercial appeal. One area where football in the Americas is likely to see significant growth in the coming years is in the realm of technology. With the rise of mobile devices and social media, football fans in the region are increasingly turning to digital platforms to engage with the sport. This trend has created new opportunities for clubs and leagues to connect with fans and generate revenue through digital channels. In addition to these trends, there are also a number of initiatives underway aimed at addressing some of the challenges facing football in the Americas. For example, in response to the issue of violence, many countries have implemented measures such as stricter stadium security, increased police presence, and tougher penalties for offenders. Similarly, in response to the issue of corruption, there have been calls for greater transparency and accountability in football governance, with some countries enacting new regulations and laws to promote ethical behavior. Looking ahead, there are a number of key events and developments on the horizon that are likely to shape the future of football in the Americas. One of the most significant of these is the upcoming 2026 World Cup, which will be jointly hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. This event is expected to generate billions of dollars in revenue and bring the sport to new audiences across North America. Another key development is the ongoing expansion of the sport into new markets in the Americas. In recent years, football has begun to gain traction in countries such as the United States and Canada, where other sports such as American football and ice hockey have traditionally been more popular. This trend is expected to continue in the coming years, as more young people in these countries embrace the sport and new opportunities for growth and development emerge. In conclusion, football is a vital part of the culture and identity of the Americas. Despite the challenges facing the sport, it is poised for continued growth and success in the years to come. Through innovation, professionalism, and a commitment to fair play and ethical behavior, football in the Americas will continue to inspire and unite fans across the region and around the world. Another key factor that has contributed to the growth and success of football in the Americas is the strong tradition of youth development programs. Many countries in the region have a long history of nurturing young talent and providing opportunities for aspiring players to develop their skills and pursue careers in the sport. These youth development programs have helped to produce some of the most talented players in the world, such as Argentina's Lionel Messi and Brazil's Neymar. They have also contributed to the success of national teams, such as the Brazilian team that has won the World Cup a record 5 times. In addition to youth development programs, football in the Americas has also been bolstered by a strong culture of fan support. From the passionate fans of clubs like Boca Juniors in Argentina to the raucous crowds at the Maracanã Stadium in Brazil, football fans in the Americas are known for their energy, enthusiasm, and dedication. This fan culture has helped to make football a central part of the social and cultural fabric of many countries in the region. It has also helped to create a sense of community and belonging among fans, who come together to support their favorite teams and share in the excitement and drama of the sport. Types of contracts in football. Football, like any other professional sport, is governed by rules and regulations that are designed to ensure that the game is played fairly and that all parties involved are treated fairly. One of the key components of these rules and regulations is the concept of a contract, which is a legally binding agreement between a football club and a player that governs their relationship. There are several different types of contracts that are used in football, each with its own unique features and requirements. In this passage, we will explore the different types of contracts that are commonly used in football and the key elements that are involved in each of them. Professional contracts. The most common type of contract used in football is a professional contract. This type of contract is used to govern the relationship between a professional football club and its players. Professional contracts are typically signed by players who are over the age of 18 and who have been offered a contract by a professional club. Professional contracts can vary in length, depending on the club and the player involved. In some cases, professional contracts may be for a single season, while in other cases they may be for several seasons. The length of the contract is usually determined by a variety of factors, including the player's age, their level of experience, and their overall talent. Professional contracts typically contain a number of key clauses that are designed to protect the interests of both the club and the player. For example, professional contracts often contain clauses that specify the player's salary, their role within the team, and the length of their contract. These clauses are designed to ensure that both the club and the player have a clear understanding of their responsibilities and obligations. In addition to these clauses, professional contracts may also contain provisions relating to bonuses, performance-related pay, and other incentives that are designed to encourage players to perform at their best. These clauses are usually tied to specific performance targets, such as the number of goals scored, assists made, or clean sheets kept. Academy contracts. Academy contracts are a special type of contract that is used to govern the relationship between a professional football club and its academy players. Academy contracts are typically signed by players who are under the age of 18 and who have been offered a place in the club's academy. Academy contracts are designed to provide young players with the opportunity to develop their skills and to prepare them for a career in professional football. Academy contracts are typically for a fixed term, usually 3 years, and may be renewed if the player continues to show promise. Academy contracts typically contain clauses that specify the player's responsibilities and obligations while they are in the academy. These may include attending training sessions, participating in matches, and maintaining a certain level of academic achievement. Academy contracts may also contain provisions relating to the player's future career prospects. For example, some academy contracts may contain clauses that give the club the right to match any offers that the player receives from other clubs once their contract has expired. Loan contracts. Loan contracts are a type of contract that is used to govern the relationship between a professional football club and another club that has borrowed one of its players for a specified period of time. Loan contracts are typically used to provide players with valuable first-team experience and to allow clubs to maintain a large squad without having to pay the full salary of all of its players. Loan contracts typically contain clauses that specify the length of the loan, the player's salary while on loan, and the conditions under which the loan may be terminated. Loan contracts may also contain provisions relating to the player's role within the loaning club, such as whether they will be a regular starter or a substitute. In addition to these clauses, loan contracts may also contain provisions relating to the player's future career prospects. For example, some loan contracts may contain clauses that give the loaning club the right to recall the player if they are needed for first-team duties or if they are not getting enough game time. With the loaning club, loan contracts can be beneficial for both the loaning club and the loan player. For the loaning club, it allows them to provide valuable first-team experience for a young player without having to commit to a long-term contract. For the lone player, it provides an opportunity to gain valuable experience and to prove themselves at a higher level than they may be used to. Trial contracts. Trial contracts are a type of contract that is used to govern the relationship between a professional football club and a player who is trying out for a place in the club's academy or first team. Trial contracts are typically used to provide players with the opportunity to demonstrate their skills and to see if they are a good fit for the club. Trial contracts are usually for a short period of time, typically 2 to 4 weeks, and may be extended if the player shows promise. Trial contracts may contain clauses that specify the player's responsibilities and obligations while on trial, such as attending training sessions and participating in matches. Unlike other types of contracts, trial contracts do not typically specify the player's salary or other financial arrangements. This is because trial contracts are designed to be a temporary arrangement and are not intended to provide a long-term commitment to the player. Out of contract. Out-of-contract players are players who have reached the end of their current contract with a football club and are not currently under contract with any other club. Out-of-contract players are free to negotiate with any club and can sign a new contract at any time. Out-of-contract players are typically more attractive to other clubs because they do not require a transfer fee to be paid. This can make them a more cost-effective option for clubs that are looking to add new players to their squad. Out-of-contract players may negotiate their own contracts, or they may work with an agent to help them negotiate the best possible deal. Contracts for out-of-contract players may contain clauses that specify the player's salary, their role within the team, and any bonuses or incentives that may be offered. Conclusion. In conclusion, there are several different types of contracts that are commonly used in football, each with its own unique features and requirements. Professional contracts are used to govern the relationship between a professional football club and its players, while academy contracts are used to provide young players with the opportunity to develop their skills. Loan contracts are used to allow clubs to provide first-team experience for young players without committing to a long-term contract, while trial contracts are used to provide players with the opportunity to demonstrate their skills and to see if they are a good fit for the club. Out-of-contract players are free to negotiate with any club and can be an attractive option for clubs that are looking to add new players to their squad. Understanding the different types of contracts that are used in football is important for players, clubs, and fans alike, as it helps to ensure that the game is played fairly and that all parties involved are treated fairly. Another type of contract that is becoming increasingly common in modern football is the performance-based contract. These contracts are designed to incentivize players to perform at their best by offering bonuses and other incentives based on their performance on the field. Performance-based contracts can include a range of different performance metrics, such as the number of goals scored, the number of assists provided, the number of clean sheets kept, and so on. How to handle the problem when the referee makes a mistake in football. Football, or soccer, is one of the most popular sports in the world, enjoyed by millions of people of all ages and backgrounds. The game is loved for its exciting gameplay, skilled players, and unpredictable outcomes. However, one of the most frustrating aspects of football is when a referee makes a mistake that affects the outcome of the game. As a player, coach, or fan, it can be challenging to handle this situation appropriately. In this article, we will explore some strategies for handling the problem when the referee makes a mistake in football. Understand that referees are human. The first step in handling a situation where the referee makes a mistake is to understand that referees are human. They are not perfect and are subject to human error, just like everyone else. Refereeing a football game is a challenging job that requires quick decision-making, a thorough understanding of the rules, and the ability to manage players and coaches who may be emotional or aggressive. As a player, coach, or fan, it can be easy to forget that the referee is doing their best, and they are not intentionally trying to make mistakes. It is essential to approach the situation with a level head and a willingness to understand the referee's perspective. Stay calm and composed. The next step in handling a situation where the referee makes a mistake is to stay calm and composed. It is easy to become emotional and frustrated when a referee makes a mistake, especially if it affects the outcome of the game. However, losing your cool and arguing with the referee is unlikely to help the situation and may even result in a yellow card or red card. Instead, take a deep breath and try to remain calm. If you are a player or coach, speak to your teammates or players and encourage them to stay focused on the game. If you are a fan, try to support your team positively and avoid directing any negative comments or behavior towards the referee. Respect the referee's decision. It is essential to respect the referee's decision, even if you disagree with it. Referees have the final say on the field, and arguing with them or challenging their decisions is unlikely to change the outcome of the game. Additionally, it may lead to disciplinary action, such as a yellow or red card. If you disagree with the referee's decision, try to address the situation calmly and respectfully. If you are a player, you may ask the referee for an explanation of their decision, but avoid arguing or using aggressive language. If you are a coach, you may want to address the situation during halftime or after the game when emotions have cooled down. Use video technology to your advantage. In recent years, video technology has become increasingly prevalent in football. VAR, or Video Assistant Referee, is a system that uses video replays to assist referees in making decisions. VAR is used to check for goals, penalties, red cards, and cases of mistaken identity. If you believe that the referee has made a mistake, you may want to request a VAR review. VAR reviews are limited, and the decision to review is ultimately up to the referee. However, if the situation is significant, it may be worth requesting a review. Show sportsmanship and fair play. Sportsmanship and fair play are crucial aspects of football. As a player, coach, or fan, it is essential to demonstrate these qualities, even when things do not go your way. Showing sportsmanship and fair play can help diffuse tense situations and create a positive atmosphere on the field. As a player, show respect to your opponents and the referee. Shake hands at the beginning and end of the game, and avoid any aggressive behavior or language. As a coach, encourage your players to show sportsmanship and fair play, and lead by example. As a fan, support your team's positive behavior and avoid any negative comments or behavior towards the opposing team or the referee. File a complaint. If you believe that the referee's mistake was severe and had a significant impact on the outcome of the game, you may want to consider filing a complaint. Most football associations have a complaints process that allows players, coaches, and fans to submit complaints about referees. To file a complaint, you will need to provide evidence of the referee's mistake and explain how it affected the outcome of the game. The Football Association will review your complaint and take appropriate action, which may include overturning the result of the game or disciplining the referee. However, filing a complaint should be a last resort. It is essential to understand that referees are human and can make mistakes. Additionally, filing a complaint can be time-consuming and may not result in the outcome that you desire. Focus on the future. After a game where the referee made a mistake, it is essential to focus on the future. Dwelling on the past and the mistakes of the referee is unlikely to help your team moving forward. Instead, focus on what your team can do to improve their performance and prepare for the next game. As a player, practice your skills and work on improving your game. As a coach, analyze the team's performance and identify areas for improvement. As a fan, support your team and look forward to the next game. Conclusion. Handling a situation where the referee makes a mistake in football can be challenging, but it is essential to approach the situation with a level head and a willingness to understand the referee's perspective. Remember that referees are human and can make mistakes. Stay calm and composed, respect the referee's decision, and use video technology to your advantage if necessary. Show sportsmanship and fair play, and file a complaint only as a last resort. Finally, focus on the future and work towards improving your team's performance. By following these strategies, you can handle a situation where the referee makes a mistake in a positive and constructive way. Additionally, it's important to remember that the referee's decision is final and cannot be changed once the game is over. This is why it's important to respect the referee's decision and move on from the mistake, even if it may be frustrating or unfair. One way to help prevent referee mistakes is to have better communication between the players and the referee. Classic matches between national football teams. Football, as a sport, has been around for over a century and has captured the hearts and minds of millions of people across the globe. One of the most exciting aspects of football is the competitive nature of national teams representing their countries in international tournaments. Over the years, there have been many classic matches between national football teams that have become iconic moments in the sport's history. One of the most famous matches took place in the 1970 FIFA World Cup between Brazil and Italy. The final was held at the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, and it was a highly anticipated match. Brazil, led by Pelé, was considered one of the greatest teams of all time. Italy, on the other hand, was a team that relied on their defensive strength and counterattacking ability. The match started with Italy dominating the early exchanges, and they took the lead in the 18th minute through a goal from Roberto Bonacegna. Brazil, however, was not to be deterred and continued to attack relentlessly. Their persistence paid off when Pelé scored the equalizer in the 37th minute. The first half ended 1-1, with both teams playing at an incredibly high level. The second half started with Brazil on the front foot, and they took the lead in the 66th minute through a brilliant goal from Gerson. Italy, however, was not going to give up without a fight, and they equalized just 6 minutes later through a goal from Tarcisio Burgnic. The match was now tied at 2-2, with both teams playing some of the best football ever seen in a World Cup final. The defining moment of the match came in the 71st minute when Carlos Alberto scored one of the greatest goals ever scored in a World Cup final. Brazil had been passing the ball around the Italian defense when Pelé laid the ball off to Carlos Alberto, who struck a powerful shot into the top corner of the net. It was a goal that summed up the brilliance of the Brazilian team and their unique brand of attacking football. The match ended 4-1 in favor of Brazil, with Jairzinho scoring the fourth goal in the dying minutes of the game. It was a classic match that showcased the talents of some of the greatest footballers of all time and remains one of the most memorable World Cup finals ever played. Another classic match took place in the 1986 FIFA World Cup between England and Argentina. The quarterfinal match was held at the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, the same stadium where the 1970 World Cup final had been played. England, led by Gary Lineker, was a team that had impressed in the tournament so far. Argentina, on the other hand, was the defending champion and had Diego Maradona in their ranks, who was arguably the best player in the world at the time. The match started with Argentina on the front foot, and they took the lead in the 51st minute through a controversial goal from Maradona. The goal, later dubbed the Hand of God, saw Maradona punch the ball into the net with his left hand, a moment that shocked the English players and fans alike. Just 4 minutes later, Maradona scored what is widely regarded as the greatest goal in World Cup history. He picked up the ball in his own half and dribbled past 5 England players before slotting the ball past Peter Shilton in the England goal. It was a goal that showcased the brilliance of Maradona and remains a defining moment in football history. England, however, was not going to give up without a fight, and they pulled a goal back in the 81st minute through a penalty from Lineker. They pushed for an equalizer but could find the back of the net, and the match ended 2-1 in favor of Argentina. It was a classic match that showcased the talents of one of the greatest footballers of all time and remains a memorable moment in the history of the sport. In 1998, the FIFA World Cup saw another classic match between two great footballing nations, Brazil and the Netherlands. The semi-final match was held at the Stade Vélodrome in Marseille, France, and was one of the most entertaining matches of the tournament. Brazil, led by Ronaldo, was considered one of the favorites to win the tournament, while the Netherlands had a talented squad that had impressed in the tournament so far. The match started with Brazil on the front foot, and they took the lead in the 10th minute through a stunning goal from Ronaldo. The Dutch, however, were not intimidated and equalized just 2 minutes later through a header from Patrick Kluivert. The match was now finely balanced, and both teams continued to attack relentlessly. The second half saw both teams create chances, but it was Brazil who eventually broke the deadlock in the 87th minute through a goal from Ronaldo. The Dutch pushed for an equalizer, but it was Brazil who held on for a famous victory. The match showcased the attacking prowess of both teams, with some of the best footballers in the world on display. It remains one of the most entertaining matches in the history of the World Cup, and is fondly remembered by fans of both Brazil and the Netherlands. In the 2006 FIFA World Cup, Italy and Germany played out a classic match in the semi-finals. The match was held at the Westfalenstadion in Dortmund, Germany, and was a highly anticipated clash between two great footballing nations. Italy, led by Fabio Cannavaro, had a solid defense, while Germany had impressed with their attacking play throughout the tournament. The match started with Germany on the front foot, and they took the lead in the 119th minute through a goal from Miroslav Klose. Italy, however, was not going to give up without a fight and equalized just a minute later through a goal from Marco Materazzi. The match was now headed for penalties, and both teams knew that one mistake could cost them a place in the final. The penalty shootout was a tense affair, with both teams converting their first 4 penalties. In the 5th round, however, Germany missed their penalty, and Italy scored theirs to book their place in the final. It was a classic match that showcased the determination and resilience of both teams, and remains one of the most memorable matches in the history of the World Cup. In conclusion, classic matches between national football teams have provided some of the most memorable moments in the history of the sport. These matches have showcased the talents of some of the greatest footballers of all time and have been the source of great joy and celebration for fans of the winning teams. While there have been many classic matches over the years, the ones discussed here are some of the most iconic and will always be remembered by football fans around the world. Another classic match between national football teams was the 2002 World Cup final between Brazil and Germany. The match was held at the International Stadium Yokohama in Japan, and it was a clash between two great footballing nations. Brazil, with their talented squad featuring Ronaldo, Rivaldo and Ronaldinho, were considered the favorites to win the tournament, while Germany had a solid team that had impressed in the tournament so far. The match started with Germany on the front foot, and they had a great chance to take the lead in the 22nd minute when Carsten Janker hit the crossbar with a powerful header. Brazil, however, took the lead just 2 minutes later through a goal from Ronaldo. How to manage a professional football team. Managing a professional football team can be an exciting but challenging task. As the manager, you are responsible for leading a group of players, coaches, and staff towards a common goal of success on the field. However, success is not just about winning games. It also involves creating a positive team culture, developing player skills and talents, and managing the day-to-day operations of the team. In this article, we will discuss the essential skills and strategies needed to manage a professional football team successfully. Build a winning culture. Creating a winning culture is essential for a football team's success. It starts with setting high standards and expectations for your team. Players should know what is expected of them both on and off the field. This includes being on time for training sessions, maintaining a high level of fitness, and being committed to the team's goals. As the manager, you need to lead by example and set the tone for the team. Creating a positive team culture is also crucial. You want your players to enjoy coming to training and playing for the team. You can foster this by creating a team environment that is supportive and inclusive. Encourage players to support each other and work together to achieve their goals. You can also organize team building activities to help build team cohesion and trust. Develop players' skills and talents. As the manager, it is your responsibility to develop players' skills and talents. This involves identifying each player's strengths and weaknesses and providing them with opportunities to improve. You should work closely with your coaching staff to develop individual training plans for each player. It is also important to provide feedback to players regularly. This feedback should be constructive and focused on helping players improve. Encourage players to ask for feedback and to be open to suggestions. This will help create a culture of continuous improvement within the team. Manage the day-to-day operations. Managing the day-to-day operations of a professional football team can be a complex task. You need to ensure that everything runs smoothly, from training sessions to game day operations. This involves managing the team's schedule, coordinating travel arrangements, and ensuring that the team has the necessary equipment and supplies. You should also be responsible for managing the team's finances. This includes creating and managing the team's budget, negotiating contracts with players and staff, and ensuring that the team stays within its financial constraints. Communicate effectively. Effective communication is critical in football management. As the manager, you need to be able to communicate effectively with your players, coaching staff, and other members of the team. This involves being clear and concise when communicating goals and expectations. You should also be open to feedback from your players and coaching staff. Encourage them to share their ideas and suggestions with you. This will help create a culture of open communication within the team. Make tactical decisions. Making tactical decisions is one of the most critical aspects of football management. You need to be able to analyze the strengths and weaknesses of your team and your opponents and make decisions that will give your team the best chance of winning. You should work closely with your coaching staff to develop game plans that are tailored to your team's strengths and weaknesses. This involves analyzing data, scouting your opponents, and making adjustments based on your team's performance during games. Manage player psychology. Managing player psychology is essential in football management. You need to be able to motivate your players, especially during times of adversity. You should also be able to manage player egos and ensure that everyone is focused on the team's goals. Handle media and public relations. Managing a professional football team also involves managing media and public relations. As the manager, you are the face of the team and are responsible for representing the team to the media and the public. You need to be able to handle interviews and press conferences effectively, and present a positive image of the team to the public. You should also be able to handle crisis management effectively. If there are any issues or controversies involving the team, you need to be able to address them calmly and professionally. This involves working closely with your public relations team and other stakeholders to develop effective strategies for managing the situation. Stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies. Football is constantly evolving, and it is essential for football managers to stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies. This includes analyzing data and using technology to gain insights into players' performance and tactics. You should also be aware of the latest training and coaching techniques and be willing to incorporate them into your team's training program. You should also be aware of the latest developments in football regulations and rules. This includes staying up to date with the latest transfer regulations and ensuring that your team stays within the rules and regulations set by football governing bodies. Build a strong network. Building a strong network is essential for football managers. You should develop relationships with other football managers, coaches, and industry experts. This will give you access to valuable resources and insights that can help you develop your team and improve your coaching skills. You should also build relationships with scouts and agents. Scouts can help you identify new talent for your team, while agents can help you negotiate contracts with players and staff. Be flexible and adaptable. Finally, it is essential for football managers to be flexible and adaptable. Football is a dynamic and ever-changing sport, and you need to be able to adapt to changes quickly. This includes adapting to changes in tactics, team dynamics, and player performance. Features of soccer shoes. Soccer shoes, or cleats, are an essential piece of equipment for any soccer player. They provide the necessary traction and support on the field, allowing players to move quickly and make precise movements with the ball. Over the years, soccer shoes have evolved with advancements in technology and design, resulting in a variety of features that cater to different playing styles and positions. In this passage, we will explore the key features of soccer shoes. Studs. Studs are the most important feature of soccer shoes as they provide traction on the field. The size, shape, and placement of studs vary depending on the playing surface and weather conditions. For example, firm ground (FG) studs are designed for use on natural grass surfaces, while soft ground (SG) studs are used on wet and muddy pitches. Artificial ground (AG) studs are designed for use on synthetic turf surfaces. The number of studs also varies, with some shoes having fewer studs for increased speed, while others have more studs for better stability and traction. Upper. The upper part of the soccer shoe is the part that covers the foot and is responsible for controlling the ball. The upper can be made from a variety of materials, including leather, synthetic leather, and synthetic materials. Leather is a popular choice as it is soft, durable, and molds to the shape of the foot. Synthetic leather and synthetic materials are also commonly used as they are lightweight and provide a good touch on the ball. Midsole. The midsole of a soccer shoe is the layer between the upper and the outsole and provides cushioning and support for the foot. Some shoes have a thicker midsole for increased comfort, while others have a thinner midsole for increased responsiveness and better ground feel. Outsole. The outsole of a soccer shoe is the layer that comes into contact with the ground and is responsible for providing traction and support. The outsole can be made from a variety of materials, including rubber, thermoplastic polyurethane, PU, and carbon fiber. Rubber is a popular choice as it provides good traction and is durable. PU and carbon fiber are used for their lightweight properties and increased stiffness, which provides better support and stability. Lacing system. The lacing system of a soccer shoe is responsible for securing the shoe to the foot and ensuring a comfortable fit. Most soccer shoes have a traditional lacing system, where the laces are threaded through eyelets on the upper. However, some shoes have alternative lacing systems, such as the laceless design, where the upper is made from a single piece of material that wraps around the foot. Weight. The weight of a soccer shoe is an important factor to consider, as it can affect a player's speed and agility on the field. Lighter shoes are often preferred by attacking players as they allow for faster movements, while heavier shoes are preferred by defenders as they provide better stability and support. Cushioning. Cushioning is an important feature of soccer shoes, as it can help prevent injuries and provide comfort during play. Some shoes have extra cushioning in the midsole or heel for increased comfort, while others have minimal cushioning for a more natural feel on the ball. Heel counter. The heel counter of a soccer shoe is the part of the shoe that wraps around the heel and provides support and stability. Some shoes have a firm heel counter for increased support, while others have a softer heel counter for increased comfort. Toe box. The toe box of a soccer shoe is the part of the shoe that covers the toes and is responsible for protecting them during play. Some shoes have a reinforced toe box for increased durability, while others have a more flexible toe box for increased ball control. Flexibility. Flexibility is an important feature of soccer shoes, as it allows players to move freely and make quick movements on the field. Some shoes are designed to be more flexible in the upper or midsole, while others are stiffer for increased support and stability. Breathability. Breathability is an important feature of soccer shoes, as it allows air to circulate around the foot and helps prevent sweat buildup. Shoes with a breathable upper or mesh panels are preferred by many players, especially those playing in warmer climates. Arch support. Arch support is an important feature of soccer shoes, as it can help prevent injuries and provide comfort during play. Some shoes have extra arch support in the midsole or footbed for increased comfort, while others have minimal arch support for a more natural feel. Style. Style is an important factor for many players when choosing soccer shoes. Shoes come in a variety of colors and designs, with some players preferring a more classic look and others opting for a bold and colorful design. Position-specific features. Some soccer shoes are designed with position-specific features to cater to the needs of different players. For example, attacking players may prefer shoes with a more streamlined design for increased speed, while defenders may prefer shoes with extra support and stability. Brand. The brand of soccer shoes can also be an important factor for many players. Some players prefer shoes from certain brands due to their reputation for quality and durability, while others may prefer a specific brand based on personal preference or endorsements. In conclusion, soccer shoes have a range of features that cater to the needs of different players and playing styles. When choosing soccer shoes, it is important to consider factors such as the playing surface, weather conditions, and personal preferences for fit, comfort, and style. With so many options available, players can find the perfect pair of soccer shoes to help them perform at their best on the field. Price. Price is another important factor to consider when purchasing soccer shoes. Prices can range from affordable to very expensive, with some high-end models costing several $100s. Players may need to balance their budget with the features and performance of the shoe they are considering. Durability. Durability is an important consideration for soccer shoes, as they are subjected to a lot of wear and tear during play. Shoes made from high-quality materials and with reinforced areas can last longer and withstand more use than cheaper, lower-quality shoes. Customization. Some soccer shoes offer customization options, such as the ability to add a player's name or number or to choose the color of the studs. Customization options can add a personal touch to the shoes and make them more unique. Insole. The insole of a soccer shoe is the layer inside the shoe that sits beneath the foot. Some shoes come with a removable insole that can be replaced with a customized or more supportive insole for increased comfort and support. Break-in period. Many soccer shoes require a break-in period, during which the shoes will become more comfortable and better suited to the player's feet. Players should plan for this break-in period when purchasing shoes and may need to wear them for a few training sessions before using them in a game. Overall, soccer shoes are a crucial piece of equipment for any player. With a wide range of features and options available, players can find the perfect pair of shoes to match their playing style, position, and personal preferences. By considering factors such as traction, comfort, durability, and price, players can make an informed decision when purchasing soccer shoes and ensure they have the best possible equipment too.